That thought scares more people than death itself. Because deep down, almost everyone has felt it. The feeling that they're capable of more. Smarter than they appear. More creative than their job allows. More disciplined than their habits suggest. More successful than their bank account shows. Yet year after year, nothing really changes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Potential is one of the most dangerous words in the English language. Because potential feels valuable without requiring results. You can spend your entire life believing you have incredible potential, while never actually using it. And surprisingly, this has almost nothing to do with intelligence. It has very little to do with talent. It isn't even about luck. The biggest reason people never reach their potential is psychological. It's hidden inside the way they think, the decisions they repeat every day, the stories they tell themselves. And once you understand this, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Not just in other people, but in yourself. Today we're going to explore why so many people stay stuck, why discipline feels impossible, why personal growth often stops before it even begins, and why building a wealth mindset has less to do with money than most people realize. By the end of this video, you may never look at your own excuses the same way again. But first, let me ask you one question. If someone gave you $1 million on one condition, that tomorrow morning you wake up with exactly the same habits you have today, would you actually stay wealthy? Or would you slowly return to where you are now? The answer to that question explains almost everything. Most people believe they're trapped by circumstances. A bad job, a difficult childhood, no opportunities, not enough money. And yes, those things matter. Some people absolutely start further behind than others. But history keeps showing us something fascinating. Two people can face the exact same circumstances and build completely different lives. Why? Because circumstances create pressure, but mindset determines direction. We will later explore this part more deeply. But first, let me give you an example. A psychiatrist imprisoned inside Nazi concentration camps. He lost almost everything. His family, his freedom, his future. Yet later, he wrote something extraordinary. He realized that although people could take everything from him, they could never completely control his attitude, his response, his mind. His name was Viktor Frankl. Now, most of us will never experience suffering anywhere close to that. Yet, we often surrender our future because of something much smaller. A difficult conversation, a failed business, a bad grade, a rejection. One embarrassing moment. Your brain treats uncertainty almost like survival. It is constantly trying to protect you. Problem is, it cannot distinguish that discomfort is not always danger. So instead, it quietly convinces you to stay exactly where you are. Safe, predictable, comfortable. That is why deliberate exposure to controlled discomfort builds your capacity to it. Your brain screams to get that dopamine hit, to exit that cold shower, to numb yourself, escape. So it doesn't have to face what it believes is dangerous. That word, believes, is where the problem lies. Let's dive deep into your own head. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the person you want to become. You can probably picture that version of yourself in incredible detail, almost as if they already exist. And that's exactly where the trap begins. Psychologists have long studied something called the gap between the actual self and the ideal self. Having an ideal isn't the problem. Problem is what your brain starts doing. When you constantly retreating yourself to fantasies, it starts rewarding your retreats. Instead of raw, unperfect work in real world. Have you ever caught yourself imagining the future instead of building it? The fantasy feels good because inside, nothing gets rejected, nothing gets embarrassed, nothing loses. Because nothing has ever happened. And little by little, your imagination becomes more satisfying than your real life. That's why some people spend years planning, years preparing, waiting for the perfect time. Possibility that you could actually fail feels terrifying. Here's the paradox. The real enemy isn't your real self. It isn't someone else or your circumstances. The real enemy is internal. The version of you that has never made a mistake, never looked foolish, never failed, never started. And here's what nobody tells you. That version has to psychologically die. Deliberately, over and over again, until that realization of you wandering instead of taking action hurts more than action itself. And you realize that what you were holding on so much was actually holding you back. Now this starts with accepting yourself exactly where you are, radically. You cannot change what you haven't accepted. And it feels uncomfortable. And that's good. That's signal telling you that growth is happening. Then you can be honest with yourself about what you actually want from life and start taking a real step forward. Raw, unperfect. It might not be like you expected, but it is real. You may as well discover that what you thought you want is not what you really want. This requires to sit with yourself in silence. No distractions. Your ego will resist. It is necessary to shatter the illusion that you'll magically become that person without first becoming today's person.